In my tutorial, you will learn to establish this intricate lace bobble pattern whilst working in the round. Although not a free pattern, the fingerless gloves featured are also available from my website. They fit both adults and children over 8. This lace bobble repeat works in multiples of 10 stitches. So, row 1, knit 2 together, wool forward, knit 4, and make bobble from a strand by knitting, purling, knitting, purling into that strand, so you've made 4 new stitches from one strand. So turn the work, purl these 4 stitches, turn the work, knit these 4 stitches, purl 4 and knit 4 again, purl 2 together, purl 2 together again, turn the work, knit 2 together, so that's your completed bobble. Now you knit 1, then you pass the bobble stitch over to get rid of that extra stitch. Then you knit 3, and that is the end of the repeat, so I'm going to carry on the remainder of the round. I'm at the end of row 2 now, and it's a plain knit row. Rows 4 and 6 are the same as row 2, so we're approaching the end. So you knit until the very last stitch on needle 3, which I've got here, and then you want to slip it onto needle 1 to work on row 3. Yes, because of the nature of working lace in the round, there's a lot of movement with the stitches. You do need to be aware that you transfer them as the pattern, as the written pattern. Row 3. So we begin by knitting 2 together, wool forward, knit 1, wool forward, knit 2 together, and knit 5, and you carry on with that repeat. 3, 4, 5. Now note, you've got a stitch left over, but that's what we want. Slip it onto your next needle. When you get to the end of row 3, you do not slip the last stitch. Row 5, we knit 2 together, wool forward, knit 3, wool forward, knit 2 together, knit 3, and carry on that sequence throughout the row. Row 7, knit 2 together, wool forward, knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wool forward, knit 2 together, and knit 1, and with the last stitch transfer it onto needle 2, and you repeat that sequence again throughout needle 2, where you'll end up with again a surplus stitch which you then transfer onto needle 3. And row 8, you knit the round and you leave the last 2 stitches because you're going to slip them onto your first needle, like so. So moving on to row 9, it begins with a wool forward, which when you're working with double pointed needles can be a bit tricky, so I'm going to show you how I do it anyway. So I need to do a wool forward and then knit 3 together. So I'm just going to get my needle in position for the knit 3 together, and note I've got the wool underneath this working right needle, like so. So when I bring it round and when I do my knit 3 together, can you see it's formed a stitch there which I'll then knit on the next row. So that's how I get round doing a wool forward at the junction of needles. Right, so we've done a wool forward, knit 3 together, we need a wool forward again and knit 7. And you'll find that you'll end up with 2 stitches which you transfer onto the left needle, and that will happen again on the next needle. You'll have 2 stitches left over which you'll then place onto your last needle. We're on row 10, which is our last row of the repeat pattern. So it's just a knit row, and what you do is then begin all over again from row 1. So not only is it a 10 stitch repeat, it's a 10 row repeat. So I do hope you've enjoyed my knitting tutorial. If you go to the stitch gallery on my website, you will be able to get a copy of the instructions on how to form this pattern for your own projects. Thanks for watching.